Here's a number that should wake everyone up. 60 million gallons a day. That's how much new water Corpus Christi is going to need before November 2026 to avoid a level 1 emergency. I'm Charles Blaine, and this is Texas Tomorrow. Choke Canyon Reservoir and Lake Corpus Christi, the city's two main water supplies for decades, are on track to run dry. And they're in a dire strait. And they're not going to recharge with one good storm. The city's own model says that the Western Reservoir system is actually on track to run dry. Lake Texana, the eastern supply currently carrying most of the city's water, could hit regional curtailment as early as mid-April. And so what is the city council doing? Well, in one meeting in February, they approved $408 million in an emergency water project. Not competitive bidding, emergency procurement. And the city manager stood up at that meeting and said that federal government knows that they need the money. The state government knows that they need the money, but no one is writing checks. Well, the city needs 60 million gallons of new daily supply of water by November. And emergency wells are producing 11 million right now. A $175 million brackish water treatment plant is supposed to be delivering about 4 million gallons a day in 11 months and scaling up to 21 million. The Evangeline groundwater project could add up to 24 million, but it starts at half capacity when it comes online in November. And that's the same month curtailment could begin. And it still needs permits. Every single project has to hit its mark. Every permit has to be approved. Construction timelines met. Everything has to go according to plan. The city manager said himself, he said, if you include Evangeline, all the reserved allocation and the wells, it's a little more than 60 million, a little more. And here's what all of this means financially for the city. So Fitch, Moody's, and S&P have all downgraded the city's water bonds, or at least put negative outlooks. The credit markets are saying that with the city council, that this plan has no margin for error. Now let's talk about why this is just a Corpus Christi problem. The port of Corpus Christi is one of the nation's largest petroleum exports. And so the industrial corridor around Corpus Bay, the petrochemical plants, steel mills, LNG export facilities employ about 12,000 people at an average salary of $120,000 or more, 3 times the area's median income. The oil and gas industry generates $27 billion in state revenue and accounts for 38% of the state's GDP. Railroad Commissioner Jim Wright put it plainly, saying if the industry doesn't have water, they're going to have to shut down. So exports will suffer, jobs will suffer, Corpus Christi will suffer. And the part that no one's really saying out loud is that the city recruited this industry there knowing this problem would happen. In 2015, their leaders went to companies and said, we have water, come build here, let's do these big projects. And the whole time the reservoirs were declining, the desalination plant was being debated and the planning was being deferred. April 2026, the council votes on the final design build contract for the Inner Harbor desalination plant. And that's a long time coming. It was killed by the previous city council and the price tag hit $1.2 billion. And now a new contractor is at the table with them and the city is moving forward this time because they really have no other choice. November 2026, that's the real deadline, because if the projects miss, curtailment starts. If curtailment starts, industry gets cut first. The question to ask your state rep, your state council member, anyone in Austin, anywhere around the state is, if you promise industry water to get jobs, whose responsibility is it when the water runs out? Texas is building a $20 billion water future in Corpus Christi is what happens when a city doesn't wait for the future. They spent the water first. Now they're spending the money and they're kind of in a bad situation because of it. So thanks for tuning into this week's episode of Texas Tomorrow. Please like, share, comment. Let us know if there's something going on in your neighborhood that you'd like us to talk about.